Hey everyone, it's Hippie here at Hippie's Common Sense Corner with one of this week's uploads called, what is it called? How doing everything on the computer or your handheld devices will be the ruin of us all. Today is Sunday, April 18th, I believe. Yes, it is, 2021. I think this topic may get me into a lot of trouble with the viewers and people in the computer industry and the phones and all that, but I know a lot of you are going to be pissed at me and want me to crawl in a hole and never come out, which is fine. That's what this channel is all about. Because I figure if I'm pissing you off, I'm doing the right thing. But at the end, please hit the like, dislike if you agree or disagree. Either one, leave the comments below. I want to also apologize that I don't have the descriptions up yet. And this is part of the reason why I'm doing this topic, and maybe I shouldn't, and a lot of you will be mad because I don't really understand computers. Maybe a lot of you figure because of my topics and it isn't that exciting, maybe I shouldn't be doing this at all, which is fine. But if you want to contact me other than down below, you can go, like I've always say, you can go back to my other videos and find the thumbnail with me and Apex. The descriptions are in there. I just checked again before I came on here. What else? Or you can contact me at hippie.38@hotmail.com. You can contact me at Facebook at hippie38, where the 38 is actually spelled out. Or you can go on Vegas World. Go over there and join in, sign in, and look for the user 1967 GTO. Or again, like we all know, you can leave the comment down below. And as you can probably put together, I'm still looking for somebody to kind of help me with this. So if you're in Milwaukee, please contact me. But with saying all that, let's get started here. Like I've told a lot of viewers, I volunteer at a law firm that's putting me to school, okay? Putting me through school. And we're getting a lot of cases with identity theft. People are being sued for stuff they've never bought. And their accounts are frozen. And I know the banks are supposed to protect you, but what good is that when you have direct deposit and all your money's in the accounts, but you can't get to it, or you can't use your credit cards or debit cards or whatever you may be using? Well, I know it makes life easier nowadays that if you want to buy something, you can order it over the computer. You can pay your bills. You can order your tags for register your vehicles. What's even nice too to most people, or for most people, is you can like if you order something, you can go on the computer and follow it, which is probably convenient for a lot of you. It's okay. But please keep in mind, every time you do that, you're leaving a trail. And the more you do on there, the more you're making it easier for the people with identity theft. That's right, to get your identity. And yeah, sure, the banks and your credit cards will protect you, but they freeze it. How are you supposed to live while it takes them to 6 months, 8 months, year, or however long it takes, to be able to have access to your money? And that's the biggest problem I'm finding with the law firm is, well, nobody wants to buy a $200,000 motorhome for somebody else that they're never going to get to see or use. Is one thing that pisses them off too is, but two, they can't pay the rent or the mortgage payment or car payment or go to a doctor's appointment or get their meds because all the money's tied up. And I mean, like in my case, I never wanted a Facebook account. I did not even get my first Facebook account until, what was it, like October of last year when I put up my first upload. And I did that for you guys, so you guys maybe would have a way to contact me, which I do get a lot of emails that way, or messages, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But I did my best to fight getting a smartphone, a phone, or whatever the hell you want to call it, handheld device. Let's just call it that. I'm sure there's another name for it. Because I did not want it. I did not. I did not. I did not. Here's my original. I've always had a flip top phone, and the flip top phones will always work nice for me. Here, my well, the phone I have now is this one. I don't know what model it is. I don't really give a shit because it's a piece of crap. After I talk on it for about half hour to 45 minutes to an hour, it disconnects who I'm talking to. Okay. You know how like this phone here, if my battery starts dying as I'm talking to somebody, it'll give me a signal. This one don't, it'll just drop on you. Okay. Well, back in 2018, okay, or let me back up. I got this particular phone in the second week of February, or third week of February of 2010, a week before my wedding. Okay, and my two phones before this was the same one. And I had this phone the whole time. And there was a couple of times I went and got another phone. This was one of them. I didn't like it because the company I go through decided to take off the vintage ringtone. I used to have that city and state ID. They took that off, and I said, well, and I went back into the store. I said, hey, where's my vintage and city ID? Oh, we took it off. Why? Well, because too many people were calling up. Because you'd get like a message saying, "Do you want this?" and people aren't reading it; they're just pressing yes, and then they bitched about the $1.99 or 99 cents a month extra on the bill. So instead of telling them, "Hey, wake the fuck up and read what the hell you're doing," let's take it away from everybody. Which, if you look at my other videos, that's been the pattern lately. One person fucked up, they ruin it for everybody. Like every fucking knucklehead that goes into a school or a shopping mall or work and shoot somebody. Okay, yeah, that person may get punished if they live through it, if they don't turn the gun on themselves. But then they try to take the rights of firearms from everybody else, okay? And, so I'd always go back to this phone. Well, back in 2018, I went and got when I call, I don't know if this is a smartphone or what. I call it a stupid phone. It's just handheld device, okay? Um, and this one isn't even much better. And the only reason I broke down to get it is because I was looking to change careers, and most of the places I applied, even if you want to work for like Uber or anything like that, you have to have a handheld. So even apply for a job, try to walk into someplace and ask for an application. Good luck. But anyways, so I finally broke down and got one. Problem with this one is I'll be talking to somebody for some time. All of a sudden, I can hear them, but they can't hear me, or reversed. And a lot of times I thought maybe my sitting the speaker or the mute button with my cheek, because that's what it seemed like. Because I could hit that and then it would be fine. But now it's still doing it. But I remember when I got this phone for the job, the guy training me said, "Oh, it's got the best camera on the market." Well, I don't buy phones for a camera, just like you probably wouldn't buy a camera for a goddamn phone. Well, okay, let's fast forward a couple months later. I decided, I missed driving truck. I really did. I love to travel. I love being in the truck. I love driving my 11 hours and not having my boss over my shoulder. Um, if I want to stop and if I have time and take a picture of, this landmark, or if I had time, I could do that. But so I decided I was going to go back to driving truck. Okay. So I went on the computer. I filled out a bunch of, like a job bulletin board. And boy, did I get phone calls with my experience. Again, like usual, I'm not going to give any names. This nightmare of a company will probably know who I'm talking about, especially if anybody there would see this upload. It was a nightmare from the day I left. Okay, because I'm talking to them on the phone, setting it up, and they said, you can take, and they told me I could either come by bus or plane. Well, I have, with all the damage I have to my body with the pins and um, surgeries I had, I can walk through a metal detector buck ass naked, and I'm going to set the metal detectors off. Okay. Um, so I said, okay, give me a bus. I'll take the bus. They said you can take one bag if you want. Yeah, I said, well, I really need two bags because after I'm done with my orientation, I'm going right out on the road. And the guy said, well, when you get there, tell them to give me a call. I'll pay for it over the credit card. Well, when I got to Greyhound, they said, we don't do that. So I tried to call the guy. The guy wouldn't answer my damn phone call. But my dumb ass, I put out the extra money. And I get there. My Uber was there. They taken me to the motel room. And at first, it seemed like it was going really good. The next day, we go to class. Um, so we go to orientation. We do all our paperwork. Everything's going really good. I happen to put this in my back pocket, but I never pulled it out while I was at the company. I don't know why, but something told me not to do it, so I didn't. I also put this one in my pocket, and I'm calling home. Every while I was gone. Well, as I noticed, the day well, the I think it was the first day we were outside at break having a cigarette, and I had to go in to ask for something, and the electric company was there saying, "We need a check or this much cash, or we're shutting off your electric." Well, when we first walked in, they said that they couldn't get into the computer, so orientation is going to be different. Well, an hour or two later, we find out about the electric. They even had the truck there, and apparently they must have paid, wrote a check because orientation was never canceled. None of us were supposed to know about it, but actually, three of us were inside that actually heard it. So now I'm really starting to wonder. And then what the first alert was is they don't give draws because they're not a bank. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But then I thought, wait a minute, I just put my money up for, it wasn't much. I think for my two other bags, I think came to like $10 or $20 or whatever it was. Well, orientation was over for the day. We go back to the motel room, and we're talking to people from classes that had orientation before us, and they're telling us this nightmare shit. I'm ready to come home already, but I figure, I'll stick it out. And I went to bed. Woke up the next day, went to class. Next thing I hear that they want us to use our phones to give us our trips and all that, which is fine. But with my plan, I have free data. But on this, it was going to. They told us we'll eat a lot of our data, so we have to pay for it. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not a bank. I don't own this fucking company. Well, and when we started our orientation, there was probably 50 people, 40 to 50 people. So on the night before I was supposed to get my truck to keep to go out on the road, I went back to the hotel room and I talked to some people. And one of the guys that was in the orientation before us had a brother that was like an orientation before him. And the day you got done with your orientation, they were supposed to give you your check for orientation. Nobody got their checks. They had to pay for their own tolls. So I said, fuck this. I knew another girl that was in orientation. So, and, she knew how to use all this. So she got me an Uber. She got me a bus ticket. And I got on the bus. Well, somehow I fucked up the screen on this phone. And even though I couldn't see what I was doing half the time, I could talk on it. It worked perfectly. Till like the first or second week of January, and then somehow we got stuck in the washer and the phone was shot for a while. But even a little bit before that, I couldn't hear anybody anymore, and they couldn't hear me. So I went and got this phone. And all I know is, like I always say in all my other videos, it's not going to get any better. Every time you do something through your handheld or the computer, you're just setting yourself up to be robbed. And I really try not to. I get mad at my wife all the time because she does it, and I really, I don't, I've never trusted computers. I remember back in the 80s, they'd have these movies that the computers would turn on us and attack us and all that, and take over the world. It's already happening, people. And I know there's uploads you can do to protect yourself, which is fine. But if you got somebody like me that don't understand how it works, what good is it? Half the time I don't even have, like right now, I'm not even using my laptop or tablet or booklet, Chromebook or whatever it is to do this. I borrow one from a friend of mine. When I do want to watch some YouTube, I go and ask my neighbor, or a friend of mine who's my neighbor, and say, hey, can I borrow your laptop for a little bit? And he actually lives close enough that I'm still on his internet. But otherwise, I wouldn't even have a damn computer. I know it doesn't make sense that I'm doing these, having my channel, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually trying here. I really am. Excuse me for 1 second. Sorry about that. But hold on 1 second. Okay, again, I'm sorry about that. But like I say, I am trying to learn this crap. And the guy that lets me use the computer, he knows some of it, but he doesn't. He's like my wife. He can get my videos uploaded, but he don't know how to set up the links or the description. So again, I am looking for somebody that's willing to help me with this. I can't really pay nothing right now, but I'm willing to work something out. If they want to be on camera with me, that's great. If they don't, that's fine too. Actually, I thought I had my partner with Apex, but that isn't. You're going to unless something changes again. But if he gets a hold of me and we talk, and if he wants to do it with me, he's more than welcome to come back. Actually, I miss him because he had a way of teaching people, or at least teaching me, because I can't learn. I don't learn things like regular people do. When I was in school, I was in like the ED program and learning disability, and because of my temper, it was called ED for emotionally disturbed. Like I think I mentioned in one video, I threatened the Milwaukee central office. I threw my assistant principal up against the window. I'd fight with the teachers. I was a little badass in school. Seventh grade, when you counted the year, how many days are in a year? If you counted the days you subtracted the days absent, I only made it 2 weeks out of the whole year in seventh grade. So I moved out by my dad, and well, my old man straightened my ass up real quick. But I had to learn stuff a different way. The best way I can explain it is like when I was working on cars. See, a lot of this stuff I used to know, I forgot after my strokes. That's one reason why I don't even ride motorcycle. I tried to ride a motorcycle last summer, and I was really having problems with it because it's all timing, and I didn't have the timing anymore. And you have to remember, back like in the 90s, and back when I was younger on a bike, I didn't even know I didn't like riding my bike under 70 miles an hour. It was nothing for me to be on the interstate doing a $1.10, $1.20. Okay. I had a 67 Tramp Bonneville. And I don't know. I bought it secondhand. I don't know what the guy did to the motor, but that bike flew. That bike, I had a speedometer on it that topped out at 165 miles per hour. And I, just like my GTO, I had a racing speedometer on there too. And I had a 454 Chevy Big Block and a Pontiac GTO. And a friend of my childhood buddy, Tony, who died back when we were 18, we built that car together. And we got a racing speedometer that was a high performance. It went up to 190. And one day we took it out racing. The needle was buried, so the speedometer went to 190. So really, the speedometer goes to like 195. The speedometer cable, basically broke, and the needle stayed there, and I still had a third of a pedal to play with. Just like my Tramp, 160, I buried the needle. That one broke, but the needle went back down, and I still had a quarter of a throttle. Now, like I said, last summer I went on a bike. I went on the interstate. Well, first I went on a kind of a busy street, city street, and I was doing 45 miles an hour, and I was nervous because of the one thing I realized I didn't have the timing anymore. And I went on the interstate. I was doing the speed limit. Maybe I went to 5 over, 7 over, and I had to get off right away because basically I forgot how to ride. And I haven't got another bike because that's why I took that bike for a ride to see if I get a bike if I couldn't ride it. Well, I know that it would all come back. I don't remember how, because I was always into the British bikes. I always had, I had Sportster choppers, and all my bikes were chopped and channeled, Springer. Like my BSA was, I had a BSA Rocket, chopped and channeled. It was chopped and channeled 18 over stock or 16 over stock. Problem is, I couldn't remember how, because I bought my dad's bike, which him and I worked on it since I was a kid. And there was stuff on there that only when we were building it, only I could do because he didn't know how to do it. I figured, it was my little trick. I couldn't remember none of that. So, but what I was getting at, the way I learned is if somebody's saying, even when I was a kid, kid with my buddy Tony working on a car, we're putting in a clutch, I can't sit there and watch you because I'm just going to walk away because I'm bored. But if you say, oh, take this off, take this off, take this off, get done, put it back. I do it once or twice. I'll never forget it. Unless I have a stroke, of course. But, I ask people, I ask my wife, I ask some people help me with the computer or my phone, they'll grab it and go, oh yeah, do that. How the fuck am I going to learn that way? And with Apex, that's why I miss him, because he had a way of showing me how to do things and do it the right way. And he had the patience of a saint. So, what I was getting at is, if you're in the Milwaukee area, you don't have to be in Milwaukee itself. If you're somewhat close, I can come to you, you come to me, meet you halfway. You want to be on screen, you don't want to be on screen, that's fine. Contact me down below. And if you don't want to give out your personal information, go to my email, hippie.38@hotmail.com, and see what we can do with this. But I know this upload isn't going to change anybody's minds about using the computer because we're all getting used to it, and everybody's likes you order this, you get it within a certain amount of time, or I need to register my vehicle. You go on a computer, you transfer the money. You don't have to worry about it till the stickers come. But another thing, before I call this quits for today or for this video, is a lot of the stuff you do on the internet. You Google it, whatever. They don't have a phone number, so the only way you can contact them is by email. My thing is, okay, say I contact somebody because I ordered a product. How do I know who's responding to my email? And then they might say, okay, I go do this, do this, do this. But you have a question. Then you guys stop, take that off the computer, contact them again, wait for them to email you. And the reason why everybody's going to doing everything through emails, because they don't want to hear your complaints. So you send them an email of a complaint, they can ignore it. And if you do happen to run into them or get a hold of them, I sent you many, many, many emails about this. Oh, we never got it. So anybody that has a web page that don't have a phone number, they're just cowards. They don't want the truth. They want the yes man. And the one thing I've always said since I was probably a teenager, you may not always like to hear what I'm saying, but at least it's me saying it. And I get in trouble like with my wife because my wife will talk to me and I'll say, look at me. Because I'm the type, when I talk to somebody, I like looking them in the eye. Okay, because I'm a really good, I can read people pretty much, very well usually. But just be careful out there. That's all I'm asking you to do. I know if anybody's really watching this upload, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate email, messages down below, emails, whatever. I can't say I'm not trying to piss people off because that's exactly what I'm doing. Because if I'm pissing people off, I feel I'm doing the right thing. I'm making you think. And I'm not doing it to hurt you. I'm just doing it. Anytime I do this and I'm pissing you off, it isn't to call you a dumbass. It's to wake you up, to at least question, stop and think. Do I really want to do this? So I think I'm going to call it quits for today, for this upload. I might do another one. Again, I'd like to apologize for that last video. I was going to do it at the beginning, but I forgot because I had my teeth in. This one I've taken them out because this was my mistake. I told my wife to upload, and I had two uploads. I did two that day, one with my teeth in and one without. And because I watched them both, and I didn't like it, so I did another topic, which he got really fucked up. I told my wife to go ahead and upload, and I told her which one. She misunderstood me. She uploaded the one with the teeth in. So I'm going to apologize. I'm sorry I can't talk with them, so I won't have them in for a while. I'm still getting them adjusted. But I don't know why, because I can't chew with the damn things anyway. So again, I want to apologize for that. But even before I did this video, I did one before, and I had the top plate in, and it was still kind of a disaster. So just give me some time. I should be able to work this out too. If you like some other videos to watch, please go and check out Michael Francis. If you're into a guy that lived a rough life, that at one time might not have been the nicest guy, but turned his life around, like an underdog story to say, go and check out Michael Francis. He's an ex-mobster, um, capo that found Jesus. He turned his life around. I give that guy so much credit. Um, he's even mentioned in Goodfellas in the bar scene when they say Michael Francis. He explains all that in some of his videos. Go and check him out. You will not be disappointed. If you're into the dark, what is it called? Dark and mysterious, story format. Go and check out Mr. Ballin. He tells these stories, like 3 topics, and one's worse than the other. Like scary, scary, dark, and mysterious topics in story form. Check him out. He is so good when you listen to him. You can actually picture it in your head as if you're watching a movie or a video or whatever. And what I like doing is looking in the comments because they talk about how good he is. And again, you will not be disappointed. If you're an ex-con or you know somebody that's an ex-con or a convict and you're behind prison reform, go and check out Larry Lawton. If you're into the paranormal, like ghost hunting, go and check out Wacky Witch or Oh My Gosh. Again, I hope these guys don't get mad that I keep plugging them. But respect to me is everything, and this is the only way I can show these guys, these people that I respect them. Larry Lodgen, if you do leave a comment, tell him I've been trying to arrange a contact with him because I'd like to get behind him on the prison reform because I've done prison time here in the United States and in Mexico. So I actually spent 18 months in a hole, not solitary, in the hole. Here in the United States, even I even did. I was when I was in prison in Wisconsin. I had a guard that was out to kill me, had me killed. In Mexico, I had 3 guards beat the piss out of me to the point that there was a 3.5 month period I do not remember. There was 4 of us abroad that were busted at the border coming back from TJ. And it was a setup. And I can tell you it was a setup because me and my other 3 buddies, we're not brain surgeons. We're not the smartest people in the world. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But we're not dumb. If I'm going to try to smuggle cocaine from Mexico to the United States, I would not put it in my saddlebag. Neither one of us 4 would have. And the reason I know it was a setup because my buddy Tin Man, who is gone now, all the other 3 are gone now. They're all dead. Knew somebody in California that knew somebody that knew somebody. And once we paid $160,000 American dollars, 40 grand a piece, our 25-year sentence went to 18 months. And we were escorted to the border. They told us to go, never come back. Matter of fact, a year later, I entered a contest to win, I want to say it was a Corvette or something, or I think grand prize was either, I think $50,000. Second prize was a Corvette, and the third prize, I didn't even know there was a third prize. I was going for either the Corvette or the cash. Well, I won third prize, which was a week paid trip, 6 nights, 7 days in Acapulco. I couldn't even take it. So, and I called up the contest and I said, and I forgot what, because this was in the mid 90s, value was different. But if it would have been in today's money, it was probably, say, a $10,000 trip. I told him I can't take it, and we couldn't transfer it to somebody else. So I got the equivalent of $2,000 cash instead. So, go and check, if you're into prison reform or you just are in human rights and you want to help, yeah, a lot of the people in prison deserve to be there. I did. Every time I went to jail, even county jail, I did my crime. I'm going to do my time, okay? But there's a lot of people in there that should not be in there. That's why I'm against 100%. No, I'm 1,000% against the death penalty. Because in the last 20 years, how many people did you hear that have done 20, 30 years and then they find out they're innocent and they get out? Sure, you can give them money. That takes this thing off a little bit. But how did they get that 20, 30 years back? My thing is, if you kill somebody, how do you get that back? So if you're into the, humanity rights and you want to, help with prison reform, go and talk to Larry Lawton. You can find him on YouTube, and you can even find him on Facebook, because I try to contact him. I really want to tell my story from A to Z, and I don't want to do it on here. I want to do it with somebody, talking to me about it that knows exactly what I was going through. Because that's a story that if I told on YouTube by myself, on my channel here, nobody would believe it. Okay. And what's even more amazing is when you look up on my criminal record, it's not there. So figure it out. What's funny is half of my crimes that I've been arrested for is not on my criminal record, and a lot of crimes that I did not do is on there. Um, so I'd like to talk to Larry Lodgen, so if you can get a message to him, great. I've tried to contact him 3, 4 times. 2, 3 for sure. It might have even been 3 or 4, or maybe a couple more. I don't know, but I know I've tried at least 2 to 3 for sure. But yeah, and then check out Oh My Gosh if you're into the paranormal or Wacky Witch. And then there's a couple of the females that are talking about the prison times too. I forgot. I'm sorry, and I'm really sorry. I was going to write it down, but I thought I'd remember, but I totally forgot. With these strokes, I can think of something now. 30, and my phone rings. I'll look and I'll forget what I'm saying. So again, I would like to apologize. But yeah, you can hit the dislike, hit the subscribe, plus the notifications, so I can keep bugging you. Leave comments below. Go back to the thumbnail with me and Apex. Get my other contact information, or you can go to Facebook Hippie 38, where the 38 is spelled out. Or you can go to hippie.38@hotmail.com or Vegas World. If you have any suggestions of a topic you'd like me to cover, feel free to leave it down below. If you want to tell me you like what I'm doing or don't like what I'm doing, again, leave it down below. And I think I'm going to call it quits right there. For now, I may put up another one later today. I'm not sure. But till I see you again, be good, be healthy, and take care. Ciao.